Well, so we just read the Grimm brothers story, The Riddle. Do you want to give us a summary and then we'll talk about it?
Mm. So there's a king's son, and he gets a great desire to travel the world. So he takes a servant with him, and one day they're traveling through the forest at night, but it's becoming dark, and they haven't found a place to stay. So they encounter a maiden, and they know that she's very beautiful, um, and they speak to her and ask her if they can stay overnight at her house or inn. I'm not sure which one it is, but she accepts, but then she tells them um that her stepmother is a witch and that they need to be careful because um she will try to harm them.
Yeah, not
And
eat and drink anything, I think.
yeah, yeah, and she warns them to not eat or drink of anything that she may offer. Um, but the king's son, he has no fear, and he just steps into the house, and there's like an old woman with red eyes sitting near a fire, and she welcomes them in, uh, and she offers, I think, maybe food and drink to them, and tells them to sit by the fire. But they don't take partake in anything, and they sleep through the night. When it's morning, the king's son and the servant, they're preparing to leave, and um, the witch says to wait and that she'll bring them drought, I think, or it's just something to eat or something.
Hmm.
That's what I assume it means. So
Or
when
something to drink.
yeah, as she like goes back into the house to obtain it, the king's son just rides away on the horse because he knows he's still following the warning. Um, and the witch comes out and the servant is still there, I believe. Um, and and she tells him to take this to your master. It's a good drink, um, but it's filled with poison. So the servant takes it, but as soon as he takes it, the glass shatters and the poison like travels all the way to the horse that the king's son was riding, and it kills the horse instantly. Um, and I think then like a raven comes and starts eating the horse.
Yeah, and
Um,
that happens when the servant went to fetch the master.
yeah, yeah. So in that time, like the servant decides to kill the raven. Um,
Well, he comes back to try to
yeah,
get his
because
saddle. And then yeah.
yeah, yeah, and he kills the raven. And they keep traveling, and they find an inn, and the inn, they walk in, and the story notes that it's nothing but a den of thieves. I mean, of murderers. I mean.
Mm.
Uh, So the servant gives them the raven to eat and cook, and I think the innkeeper or and like the witch, they eat the like a raven stew, and like everyone there dies. Um, and and then like the daughter, like or the maiden in the house, like she was innocent and didn't partake in any of the criminal activity there.
Hmm.
And she shows them like all the treasures they had hiding, but the king's son refuses to take anything and tells her that it's hers to keep. And he leaves. Um, so then afterwards, the king's son and the servant, they keep traveling and they come to a town that's known for its beautiful princess. And her thing is that uh, she enjoys riddles. And if she's to marry someone, it has to be a riddle she can't solve. So So far there's been nine suitors that have attempted. Uh, and she saw all the riddles, and the consequence of that happening is that they all lose their heads. So everyone has died trying. And when the king's son sees the princess, he's so taken by her beauty that he decides to take the risk, and he comes to her with a riddle. And the riddle says, one slew none and yet slew 12.
Yeah.
Um, and she has 3 days to solve it. Uh, so on the first day, the princess, assumes that her servants will be able to hear the king's son speaking to himself in his sleep about the riddle, and she plans to find out that way. So on the first night, she sends one of her servants, but the master's servant already knew that they might try to do that. So the master's servant disguises himself as uh, as the king's son. The king's son's servant disguises himself as the king's son, and he sleeps in his master's bed. And when the servant girl like appears near the window or something, um, I don't know if it was near the window. I think
Mm.
so, but
But yeah,
he
she's listening to see if he tells a secret in his
yeah
sleep.
he like jumps out with like and chases her away with rods or something, and he grabs her mantle in the process.
Yeah, the
Um,
mantle, I guess she was like covering herself
mhm,
with. It's like hit makes her hidden.
yeah, yeah. So then on the second night, the princess sends her lady in waiting. So I think that's like the highest ranked maid, um,
Must be.
like her main maid.
Mm.
So um, I think they're still anticipating the same thing. So the king's son, a servant, like jumps out and she chases her away with rods again.
Mm.
And they also grab her mantle in the process.
Mm.
And on the third night, seeing that they've had no success, the princess comes herself, and she comes in with a light gray or silver mantle.
And it was the
Um,
master that was sleeping this time because they had
mhm.
thought, you know,
Yeah,
that they weren't going to do that again.
yeah. So they thought they were safe, and the master's sleeping in his usual bed. Um, so the princess comes, and the master is still awake and sees her there.
Pretending to sleep
And
though.
yeah, he's pretending to sleep, and she starts asking him about the riddle. Um, and he responds with,
Well, she says, like the first part, one slew none. What is that? And he said, a raven which ate of a dead and poisoned horse and died of it. And then she asked about the second part of the riddle, and yet slew 12. What is that? And then he said, the 12 murderers who ate the raven and died.
"Hmm." So yeah, then he jumps out and with the rod and stuff, and the princess tries to run away, but he's able to hold her and grab her mantle. Um, and but she knows the answer now. So um, the next day, I think they go before so like a judge or jury or like king. They
Yeah,
go
that's
before
right.
someone.
Yeah,
Um,
judges. The 12 judges.
mhm. And the princess, I think she says that she knows the answer to the riddle. And then the king's son says that um, she came to his room at night and that he has the proof, and he pulls out all the mantles belonging to everyone. Um, so they declare that since he has the mantle as proof that she came to his room at night, um, like even though she still knows the answer to the riddle, like I guess it doesn't matter, and she must marry him.
Well, she
So
didn't guess
they,
it.
okay. But yeah, they say that now her silver mantle must be embroidered with gold, um, and that should be the wedding mantle.
Yeah, gold and silver. Yeah. Yeah, good retelling as usual.